or perhaps you're gay. Is there a point to all these fancy clothes, with all these buckles from your head down to your toes? It's very simple, but I'm just another girl. It's not so easy, but I'm giving it a whirl. Is there something that you're trying to prove, with all the makeup and the way you move? Are you looking for some sympathy? No, I'm trying to be the best girl I can be. It's very simple, but I'm just another girl. It's not so easy, but I'm giving it a whirl. Like my martinis dry, cosmos I won't deny. Smoke those long cigarettes. Thank God I'm not dead yet. Done all these crazy things, short of a wedding ring. Just another girl.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Callista Solon, and this is nlcTrans. I'm here tonight with my usual co-host, Tara Alexander. Clearly, if you guys were watching, and I hope you were last week, we were not here, which is why we were running reruns. We were actually at Manchester High School last week doing a discussion panel, which was quite interesting and fun and a little bit surprising. In fact, we kind of went into that blind, and it was funny because when we got there, it really looked like it was a bunch of students who weren't there of their own accord.
Oh, they weren't there of their own accord. They were brought in to the panel due to some incidents that had happened at the school.
Yeah, it was sort of training. It was
you could call it sensitivity training.
Sensitivity training, yeah. and so we were a little bit blindsided by that. But it actually is funny because it worked out really well. And it turned out that it was a good time, and the students were actually quite good. And and I think they actually enjoyed us being there, which was amazing. We turned them very quickly.
We got to talk to some of the night school students, and you could see at the beginning of the discussion there were a lot of folks that were ready to tune out, but by the end of the 45 minutes or so, there were a lot of interested parties.
Yeah, it was cool. And in fact, Father Russ joined us on this panel, and I think he was very instrumental in keeping these people in line, which was really very cool. But thank you to Manchester High School for that. And I'd also like to thank, before I forget, I'd like to thank Joe Courtney. We apparently passed the Matthew Shepard bill. I guess this was yesterday, and that was the hate crimes bill.
Yep, federal hate crimes bill.
Which is a really good thing, and thank you to Joe for voting on that. And Joe, in fact, I talked to Joe a while back, and I'm going to have to hold his feet to the fire, but he has committed to being on our show, so we should have him on here at some time in the not too far distant future. We also have Andrew Maynard coming on.
Mm-hmm.
Right now he is in session. Wednesday nights is very, very tough for him, so hopefully sometime, maybe next month or the month after, we will have Andrew Maynard on.
And if not in June, we may end up moving to another night in July.
Who knows? Never can tell. So we would like to thank him. We'd also like to remind everybody that next week on Father Russ's show, he's having Rob Simmons on.
Rob Simmons will be on.
Which is very cool. Rob will be running very soon for the Senate, which should be very interesting.
Call in and grill him.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens. But anyway, so he's going to be on Father's show next week, so be sure to tune in for that. That should be very interesting. Anyway, there were a bunch of things that we would like to talk about tonight. We actually don't have a guest tonight, which is actually kind of cool because there are a lot of things we've been wanting to talk about that we haven't been able to get to.
A lot of them I've forgotten.
And so certainly we would like to take this opportunity to dive into a few things. I know you had a bunch of stuff on marriage that you wanted to talk about.
Well, we do have. It's unusual that we don't have a guest this week because we do have guests coming up over the next 3 weeks. I don't have the calendar in front of me, though.
Yeah, I
You do.
I do. I actually have my calendar. It's not complete, but I am working very hard at trying to become organized. This is a new thing for me.
I know we've got Ron Suresha, and we've got
Yep. We
the
have
director of Spirit of Broadway coming on.
Yep. Next week we have Rich Smalley.
Yep, Rich Smalley from the Stonewall Speakers.
Stonewall Speakers. That's a very interesting thing. We're going to have to talk a whole bunch about the history of the Stonewall
Riots and the history of the GLBT movement and how big a part Connecticut's actually played in that history.
Yeah, it's very cool. Whole bunch of very interesting stuff, and that could be multiple shows, I suspect.
It probably could.
So anyway, next week, Rich Smalley. The week after, on the 20th, we have Ron Suresha, who is an author, and I think he's written 8 books.
He's written many books.
Yeah, I believe it's 8, at least 8, anyway.
Yeah.
And
he's got a lot of topics that he can talk about as well.
And certainly an avid member of our community.
Yep.
Our broader community, the GLBT community.
Yep. Yeah. I think a lot of his books, I think, focus on gay and bisexual men.
Yeah.
Which is not something we've covered a lot here, so
But
it'll be interesting to get more information on that personally.
That should be very interesting. And Ron is in fact married to my doctor, my primary care physician, who is a sweetheart. And I keep trying to get him. In fact, I saw him recently, and I told him that he should come on with Ron, and he said, "Nice try."
Is this the guy that came to the Christmas party?
He was at one of our parties.
One of the parties, yeah.
Very, very, very sweet man, but camera shy. Someday we will get him on. But anyway, and the following week on the 27th, we have Brett Bernardini, who is the director and one of the founders of Spirit of Broadway.
Spirit of Broadway Theater in Norwich. Yep.
And in fact, they're having a bunch of stuff going on this weekend. They're looking for volunteers to hang lights and move furniture and sew and make dresses.
Make dresses.
Which I would if I didn't have my grandson this weekend, I would probably go do that. But unfortunately, I'm going to be tied up. Also on the 18th.
Yep, May 18th.
We are speaking to the New London People Forum.
Yep.
At the Unitarian Universalist
All Souls
Church.
Unitarian Universalist Church.
Here in town, in New London.
J Street, New London.
Which should be very interesting. They're an interesting bunch.
They're a group of basically concerned citizens that are either members of or supporters of the GLBT community in the New London area.
Yeah. Very nice people.
Yeah, they are.
And so we're going to go talk to them, and
hopefully we can get them to come on our show and
yes.
talk about their organization as well.
Absolutely, we want them to do that. That will be
sometime in June.
We're always looking for allies, and these are nice people. And thank you to Constance for setting all this up. And in fact, Constance is the one who got us involved with the Spirit of Broadway Theater, which is a very interesting, place.
Met Constance at the Love Makes a Family meeting.
Yeah.
And boy, she took it from there.
And met Ron there too, in fact.
Yes. Yeah. We just didn't know it at the time.
Yes. Anyway, so that's sort of what I have on the calendar for the moment. This will be expanding rapidly here.
It always does.
So anyway, we had a